is on the way for the Cowboys this Sunday as CeeDee Lamb is set to return against the Commanders. The Pro Bowl wide receiver has missed the last 3 games with a high left ankle sprain. How dangerous does Lamb's return make the Cowboys, Cam? And what advice do you have for Dak Prescott in the group?
Man, it's simple. Do not allow talent to dictate where the football goes. I will say it again. Do not allow talent to dictate where the football goes. Allow the defense to dictate where the football goes. When you allow talent to dictate where the football goes, now it leads to you forcing the football. The thing that has been marvelous to see from Dak Prescott in these last couple of weeks is how will he be able to manage and distribute the football? And he's been doing it off of the premise of the defense is in cover 2, I have to get to my check down if we got a shot call. Hey, the defense is in cover 3, let me give my guys an opportunity. Or they're in man-to-man, let me give my guys an opportunity. Hey, I'm hot, let me get to my check down. Those type of things, when you insert a CeeDee Lamb, his presence, his aura, his whole demeanor presents opposing threat, not just to defenders who's guarding him, but to the sideline when you look up and you say to yourself, man, it's been third quarter and he only got 1 reception or 2 receptions. Those type of issues go through your mind as a quarterback, and I just would tell Dak to say, hey, lock in, bro. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got another Maserati inserted into your garage, but you've been doing a hell of a job with that one Rolls Royce and those doggone Priuses and doggone excursions and Escalades. That's cool. They quality, and they've been giving you a lot, and that's what you would expect.
I think you have to allow both the defense and talent to dictate where the ball goes. And when Cam says the defense, he's saying you throw the football to where the defense's weaknesses are. But sometimes there are one-on-ones with George Pickens that are your matchup. That talent dictates that. There are going to be one-on-ones with CeeDee Lamb where talent dictates that. I said coming into the season that this was the second best wide receiver quarterback trio in all of football. And without Joe Flacco, I mean, with Joe Flacco replacing Joe Burrow, maybe number 1. CeeDee Lamb has to become a huge part of this offense immediately. George Pickens has already become a huge part of this offense in CeeDee Lamb's absence, but so has Fournoy, so has Ferguson, so has Tolbert. This can be the most explosive passing game in all of football, and that's how they should approach this game. Last week, we watched the Carolina Panthers slow down Javonte Williams. That should not happen going forward because you're going to have to pay attention to the skilled players on the outside. Dak Prescott playing at an end. And you know, Stephen A., you said it. This team has to score 30-plus points to win, and that's how they should attack.
Let me tell you what I'm surprised neither one of y'all brought up. The fact that George Pickens has been rolling so well, that CeeDee Lamb coming back, potentially taking opportunities away from him, targets away from him. Of course, that's a natural thing because CeeDee Lamb is your wide receiver number 1. But the point is, who's to say that's not going to have an effect? I'm not casting aspersions on him. We all know the temperamental issues he was known to have in Pittsburgh for whatever reason. In my estimation, probably because he didn't have a quarterback like Dak Prescott throwing him the damn football. Okay, we get that part. The flip side to it is, nevertheless, approaching a contract year, balling out the way that he has, looking for his paper, like Cam pointed out, as individuals, looking for your paper. Why haven't we broached the possibility that CeeDee Lamb could have a potentially negative impact because it requires them to share, and how receptive is George Lynch going to be to, George Pickens going to be to that? I
just feel like only negative that can come from going or the addition to CeeDee Lamb is all ego.
I agree. That's what I'm talking about,
I'm
ego.
CeeDee and I'm seeing what George Pickens does and has been doing, knowing what I know about CeeDee,
he's a good brother.
He's excited because now who you going to double? Who you going to focus on? Last night's game, perfect example. When Joe Flacco threw it to the middle of the field, forget the receiver's name.
Yoshi.
When both of the safeties bracketed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, hello, what do? He went to where the defense told him to go, right? When you have George Pickens on one side, then you have CeeDee Lamb on another side, what do you run?
Well, I will say this before I go back. I'll give you the last word, RC, but I'll go to this. it helps that CeeDee Lamb got his money.
Oh
If both of them were looking for their money, we'd
It'd
have
be
a problem.
trouble.
But the fact that CeeDee Lamb got his money, he can have that attitude because he can afford to, because he's getting his bag. Now you want your dude to get his bag.
Well, I think the big thing is, I love that Cam brought up T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase not only work well together, they got the same agent.
Yeah.
Right? So you had the same person asking a team for multiple millions of dollars, and they got it done because T. Higgins wanted to stay there. Because he understands that there's going to be some fruit that falls from this tree or some shade that falls from this tree that eventually allows me to get in the sunshine.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that could happen with CeeDee Lamb and also George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb needs to take targets away from Fournette and Tolbert and Ferguson, not necessarily George Pickens when the matchup is his.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Last word?
No, but yeah, I'll say that. Then when you see an athlete fighting for his contract or fighting for his career on his contract year, it's a different type of stress and opportunity. But George Pickens has been delightful to watch.
Yes.
As a fan and knowing him personally, it's been amazing to see his growth.
Brother can play.
No, for sure.
He's always been this talented, and if you ask anybody in Dallas, because I've asked the question, he's been a model citizen since arriving there.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got somebody to throw you the ball. This is simple.
A offensive superstar. Right now he's 21st in odds. Joe, I'm looking at you as the betting expert here for MVP. I think give it one more week. They play the San Francisco 49ers. I think he goes scorched earth, and this is a guy who I would watch out for to suddenly be in the MVP conversation. Even though he plays running back, he is the heart and soul of that team.
Look, last non-QB was Adrian Peterson in 2012. Keep that in mind.
Let's not gloss over how happy Harry is.
Yes.
It's delightful to see Harry dancing that way.
Excited.
All right, the next one. Revenge, thy name is Vrabel.
Yeah, look, there are some guys who don't have that in them, some guys who are not petty, some guys who don't even think of this stuff. Vrabel's not one of those guys. Vrabel's going to want to go into Tennessee 6 days after they fired the guy who they hired to change the culture because his wasn't the one they wanted there. And I think he's going to go absolutely scorched earth with these Patriots players. Patriots are hot. Drake May's doing his thing. The Titans are at the very bare bottom of what they ever could have imagined to have been. And I don't think Vrabel's going to hold any punches going back into that building.
Yes, we said the other day, they might be up 30 points and go for 2 late in the game. All right, finally, how about the New York Football Giants?
I think this is the biggest Giants game since their playoff loss to Philadelphia a couple of years ago. The excitement right now amongst Giants fans and in this market is unmatched. And Greeny, I want to present you with something here. We had the NYC mayoral debate yesterday. I already have the case. If you're not happy with the candidates in New York, and I know many aren't, this might be the one. Bart Scott, a couple of weeks ago, I said the Giants were going to beat the Chargers, and you said, oh, you're just a Giants fan.
That is true.
I'm going to give this shirt to you as the Jets fan. You can enjoy it. Dart Scatterboo 25. Who's coming with me? Let's go.
These are the only two that's keeping my radio show even on the air. I ride with it.
You know, it's interesting. Okay, so that's awesome. And it actually could not more perfectly set up the conversation because you're excited, the city is excited, and I think generally fans who don't have a horse in the race are excited to see these 2 young players. But you were making the point that the Denver Broncos, who are there playing this weekend with a pretty tough defense, they're going to be listening to all of this noise and they're going to see it different.
Yeah, 1,000%. Jonathan Cooper just got interviewed, right? And he talked about, hey, Jackson Darter's running around with a chain on. He's celebrating. They're doing these flips. When you have a young quarterback in this league that has had